Okay, here is my 2001 Honda VFR, and I'm going to show you the difference between the OEM rectifier. This is straight OEM, it's not the upgraded one, and then this is a FH011AA. This is the one with the huge heat sink. I cut off about 3/4 inch off. From the pictures, it looks like it's all heat sinks. It's actually, the body is this thick. The stock one is about 1 inch thick. This one's about 1.5 inches, 2 inches thick, and then the heat sinks, the fins start. I just use a chop saw at work, a 10-inch chop saw, just go real slow. And I cut extra grooves in it to give it some more surface area for the heat dissipation. Of course, I just did it, and I mean, you have to touch about right there to feel the heat. So it's real efficient. I have the stock one hooked up right now. This one actually puts out more voltage. The problem is it just gets hotter than hell, and eventually, if I pull in the clutch, my bike will just die, and it acts like a dead battery. So I'm gonna guess this gets so hot that it'll keep going as long as you don't come to a stop. So it's good, but it's not good. Which I'm gonna replace the stator too. I'm starting to get a little brown on this. But I think from what I've checked out, the stator checks out fine, but I'm gonna go ahead and change it out anyways. One thing I want to do is, when I get the new stator, I've never had one up close, so I don't know if I can even do this. I'm hoping, these are about 14 gauge, I believe, wires. Hopefully when I get the stator, I can desolder the stock wires and put like a 12 gauge, solder it to the stator, and then come out with 12 gauge, because these get pretty warm to the touch, and even on this side, because you have 14 gauge here, but then you have 12 gauge on this side, so it's kind of good old wiring job. So 3-phase stator, you're stuck on the 2000s, and if you have a 98 and 99, you have a different plug. It's not this big chunky one. It's a 3, looks like this, and it's a lot smaller. Nothing really different. So if you order a kind of a stock rectifier and it comes with that little 3-1, you could just put a screwdriver, take these out and use this, or however your bike is. It's the same, it's just a different plug. Hell, some people just hack the connector off and solder the wires straight to them. Then you have 2 power wires, 2 negatives or grounds. I guess ground, and then this is a monitor wire, because this is an old. These are old school. These are I can't think of it. It starts with an S. What these are made with, the resistors in them or whatever. Then this is a MOSFET. Oops. Kind of disconnects my fan. This isn't how I had it. I'm just testing this, so I have it kind of rigged up. This is how I had to get home one day. I had to bolt it to the outside. I didn't have the fan on, but I bolted this outside just so I could make it back home, about a good 3 hours away, just so I could get airflow. There's no airflow going through the plastic and hitting this. Then when I got home, I added this fan because I'm still waiting on the parts from Honda. This came through eBay. I bought that, and this, if you're gonna put a fan on this, a computer fan, this is an 80mm. Make sure it is a high RPM one, because even this one turned on, you can just barely feel the air come out. So you want a good one. If you really want a good one, get like a Delta. Those things will pull 2 amps on those this little fan in, it'll cut your finger off. So be careful. Put it like a mesh screen over it, because that'll really move air. This probably doesn't even work when I have it on outside, because the wind probably hits it and slows the fan down. So I just kind of turn it on if I'm going slow. Which now that I have this, I don't have to worry about this. Okay, so I started this up, and I can actually pull more voltage faster. This will automatically start at 13 point whatever volts, and then it'll climb up to 14 point. The highest I've seen is 14.6, holding it at 5,000 RPMs. This one, of course, I don't know how it works. It may start slower, lower, and then warm up. It was at 12, low 12 volt, and it barely hit 14. But the thing that sucks is where you put your little multimeter points. Don't put them here on the nuts, on the bolts. I found out that's the smallest measurement I would get. I get like 10 to 11 volts there, but if you kind of got to keep poking it around, and then you find a sweet spot on the terminal. I don't know what it is, but I can't just touch one little spot and oh, it's perfect. What I do is I touch it when it's like this, not on, and I find it, because it'll hold 13 volts by itself, and I find that sweet spot, and then I hold them, and then I fire it up. I don't know why, but I mean, definitely if I touch the bolts, it gives me the least measurement, so I have to just find the sweet spot on the terminals. Let me show you what the stock volts looks like. Back up real quick, and then I'll hook up the FH011 one. We'll see what we get there. Wow, that's a shitty zoom there. One touch and it goes to work. And a lovely 14.6. So let me hook up the other one and get back to you on that one.